Welcome to Our Life Simplified. I'm Laura, and Todd is my husband. On this channel, we share our journey of transforming our 5-acre property into a Tuscany-inspired mini homestead and peaceful outdoor oasis. From DIY builds and garden projects, to raising chickens and culinary adventures, including cooking, baking, and grilling, and everything in between. We are creating a space that's both functional and charming, one intentional step at a time. Welcome to our home. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are taking our Tuscany-inspired mini homestead to the next level by building something I've been dreaming about for a long time. It's a big, beautiful, chunky outdoor table that can seat 10 to 12 people. There's just something about gathering with friends and family around a solid wood table outdoors, sharing good food, laughter, and those slow, simple moments that make life feel so full. This table will be the heart of our outdoor space, rustic, timeless, and built to last, just like the spirit of Tuscany we're trying to bring to our homestead. So grab a cup of coffee or maybe a glass of wine and come along as we design, build, and finish this gorgeous piece from start to finish. Now I want to begin with the before, what we started with. We originally had a metal frame table with tile on the top. Last year we had our roof redone, and we believe that the roofers dropped something on the table and broke off a couple of pieces, cracked and broke some pieces, and but they didn't admit to it, and it is what it is at this point. So it gave me a reason to go ahead and start with this project that I'd been dreaming about for quite some time now. Be sure to stick to the end because I want to share with you a core memory that I've already created with this table. I might have to bleep out a couple of words, but it's a good thing. So it was the video that was made at the time that it happened, but yeah, I decided I wanted to go ahead and share this experience with all of you. I'm going to be using a Japanese technique that will help preserve the wood that I recently heard about. Obviously, it's been around for a very long time, but I recently found out about it, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to try our hand at using the Japanese technique of preserving wood and building the chunky Tuscany country style table that I've been dreaming of getting back here. The Japanese technique that we're going to be doing today, it's the first time of us trying this, so we're going to see how well it works. And I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of it, but it is called shoshiban.
Shosogiban.
There is also another name for this technique as well. We also had a situation that happened several years back. There was an umbrella in here. It was a windy day when the umbrella was open, and when the umbrella blew over, it completely bent and deformed this area. So, not saying there's anything wrong with the table, but my plan is to place this table with the chairs over in the area back on the pool deck here. In the meantime, let's get started on the wood project. We already went to Lowe's. That is one of our local lumber yards that we have, big box store type lumber yard. And I have various materials out here. At the end, I can go ahead and show you the measurements of what the table actually came out to be. We're using 4 2x12s by 8s. And then I have 4 4x4s. We'll be using this for legs, not only for the table, but also for the bench. I'm going to be making a bench also, but I'm also going to be buying some chairs that will go with this table as well. I have 3 2x6 by 8s that I'm going to be using this technique. This was an extra board that we happen to have inside. I'm also going to be looking inside our garage to see if I can find any more pieces that might work. And then I have 2x4s, and these will be used for framing to help hold everything together. This is what I'm going to use this technique. I'm going to call it a flamethrower. This is the knob that will control how high or low you want your flame to be. And then is this like the gas?
Yeah.
Like how to start it?
Yeah.
All right, so.
Till you hear gas coming out.
I can hear gas coming out. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There we go. Going to adjust it. Holy moly. Okay, so I got to be very careful with the trigger.
Right.
All right. I can feel the heat. Wow, we should turn that on in the wintertime.
When you want to shut this off, you shut this off first.
And let it run out of gas, so to speak. Look at those flames. Okay, go ahead and turn it back on. Probably just a little bit. Probably don't have to go wide open. That's good. All right. So you want to... This came with it, but we didn't use this.
It wasn't sparking.
It wasn't sparking. So we use this. Just be careful. Do not put your hand in front of that when you're lighting it. All right, so.
You can open this up a little bit more.
Do you want to hold it while I do it? And let's see. Should we get a fire extinguisher? Here, come over. The cinder blocks is definitely helping. It needs to be on something that really can't burn. Probably need to blow these leaves away, because that might catch fire. So with this technique that we're going to be using, I'm going to go ahead and just burn all the edges first. I hope that's not going to be a mistake, but I'm going to be burning all the edges first, just to make sure that the process of sealing the wood, since this is going to be outside and exposed to the weather, is completely surrounding all sides of the wood. The top, bottom, the edges, the sides. So as I go ahead and burn all of those pieces, I'm going to be doing a finish on the pieces of wood that will give it an aged look. So I'm going to kind of rough up the sides, doing various techniques, whether it is sanding, maybe gouging out certain pieces like around the edge of the wood. And I think what I'm going to do is, after I distress it the way that I want it to look, when I am finished with all of this, I will be using linseed oil to do the final sealing of the wood to do an extra protection. I have several of the boards here in the garage. This is what it looks like after I put the torch to it. So these are the big boards for the table. And then I have the 4x4s, 2x4s. These are the 2x6s. Yes, I have a piano here. I was going to do a project with this, but right now it's just a catch-all. I want to show you, I'm taking a wire brush, and I started already kind of going around the edges. I have not got a sander out yet, because I am wanting kind of a rustic look, but I want to show you on the areas that, because right now you can see it's kind of a sharp edge, but if you take the wire brush and kind of go over it, it kind of smooths that out. Now I want to keep the lines going in the same direction, so I want to be careful with that. But can you see how it's kind of smoothing it out on the edges? I am really loving this. So between this wire brush and an actual sander, I'm going to go ahead and kind of rough up the edges a little bit and kind of make it look rustic. And something else I noticed after I burned this wood, it feels pretty smooth. I think I do want to smooth it out a little bit more, but it feels pretty darn smooth considering I didn't sand it yet. So it's as if any of the rough edges that kind of got burnt down and created like a smooth or smoother feeling wood, which I'm kind of impressed with this technique. And I don't know 100% if I did this correctly or not, or if I was supposed to burn it more, but this is how I'm using it on my project. But I'm going to continue working on this, and hopefully the final result will be exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know if you could see it whenever I was doing the burning of the wood. Probably not, because I wasn't close enough. But these areas, especially where the knots were, or any areas that the sap was able to come up, you could see it bubbling up and out. And in some areas, it actually looks like it dried smooth, and I'll show you that in a second. Other areas it still looks a little sticky, so maybe I need to put the flame on it again to get it to smooth out. Like this area right here, it looks shiny, but it's a little sticky right here, but otherwise it feels smooth. I am really liking the way this is turning out. Next, we moved on to making the legs. Todd went ahead and took 4x4s, and he cut the 4x4s to size, like whatever the size of the legs were going to be. And then he used the compound miter saw to cut these notches in the legs so that the crossboard, it's like a crossboard that's a 4x4 crossboard, could fit in the slot. So he just continued with this process until all 4 of the legs had the notches, and that we knew that the 4x4 crossboard would be able to fit in the notches that he cut. So then after he did all of that, then he took all the boards, all the 2x4s that were going to form the frame on the underside of the table. He had some short boards, he had some long boards, but this was going to frame out the bottom underside of the table to not only support the tabletop itself, but also to have a place for the legs to be able to fit. And there were a lot of pocket holes that had to be screwed. So he wanted to make sure that this was a solid piece, and it was very protected, very solid. We don't want this table to fall apart. We want this table to last as long as possible. But you can see where he's putting the 4x4 crossboards in. Now we're using bar clamps to hold the tabletop together. And then once the frame is set where Todd thinks it should be set, he is also using the clamps to hold that frame in place. He's doing his measurements. He knows where things need to go on the table. I would personally be eyeballing it, but we're using 2.5-inch pocket hole screws. And this is where he is screwing in all of the screws. There are so many of them. I bet there were 50 or more screws that he screwed into these boards. But I'm telling you from firsthand experience, it's a very solid table. So now he's kind of centering it on the table. And he's getting those screwed in. And we try to pre-drill any hole that we plan on placing a screw in, just because it will prevent splitting of the boards. And but these pocket holes, we use the Craig jig. The pocket holes make for a very solid, secure hold whenever you're piecing the wood together. Okay, so now we're putting the legs on. You can see that 4x4 crossboard with the legs. He was going to put 2x4s in that crossboard, but I told him no, I wanted it to look chunkier. So he's just leveling out the legs. He is now adding the metal corner braces or brackets, and he's getting those screwed in. And then after that, he is screwing in the side legs. Now, personally, if we built another table, I would not screw in the screws like he's doing right there. I don't like them being exposed. I would prefer it where the screws were hidden. So if we ever build another table, it was going to be done a little differently. So he measured for that 2x4 crossboard to go. That's going to be like the bottom crossboard to kind of hold everything together and solid. So he's got that in place. I'm trying to help out where I can. And now it's my turn, and I am adding the boiled linseed oil to this table. I wanted to try to be as natural as possible, and I guess in my mind I felt like this would work well. I love how deep of a color that came out after we did the burning treatment, that Japanese process. And even though we may not have done it correctly, I still love the look of it. So I would absolutely do that again if I have any other wood projects. But I wanted to cover in every nook and cranny on the bottom side of this table. I did it also on the top side once I finished everything on the bottom. I also made sure that I put some linseed oil on the very bottom of the legs, the part that would be touching the concrete. So I just wanted it to be as protected as possible because I want this table to last a long time. Now, what I did do is after we flipped this table over and I did add some more coats of linseed oil to the top, we had it setting out in the sun, but the sun was just beating down on it, and so it was fading the tabletop, and I felt like it wasn't protected enough, so I did end up using it was like a polyurethane. If I can find it, I'll try to take a picture and post what we used, but I put at least 2 to 3 coats of that polyurethane, and I think it was doing a much better job of keeping it sealed and protecting it. So yeah, there you can see me. I did a little bit on the very bottom of the legs where it would touch the concrete. But, yep, I just tried to cover it the best I could. 'Cause, again, I want this to last as long as possible. Look at that color. I absolutely love the grains that are popping out. So next we made the bench. It was basically the same concept, using the 2x4s as a frame underneath. I used those 2x6s as the top for the bench, and then the 4x4 legs. But everything was made essentially the same as the table, except we made it smaller for the bench. The video of us making the table was made many months ago. We started the project back in, I want to say it was maybe April, May time, and the table was finished back then. And it has now gone all through the summertime. We are currently in November. Yes, I know it was a delay in getting this video put together and out, but we are now in November. We actually just got a lot of things winterized today. The chicken coop, I collected the rest of my harvest for the garden because we're supposed to be getting temperatures of 28 degrees overnight. It's our first frost of the year. And so anyways, I wanted to show you the table now after it has been setting in the sun because there's no protection over the table, and I want to show you the final result. As a reminder, let me show you what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. Excuse the chickens. So this is the table that we built. I absolutely love it. You can see part of our harvest right there in the basket. You can see the chunky legs. I absolutely love the chunky legs. Let me remove this chair. And now you can see why I did not want a 2x4 for the crossboard across here. That 4x4 gave it a beautiful chunky look. The bench matches. I'll go ahead and do measurements here in a second, but I absolutely love the color of the wood. The sun did bleach it out a little bit, so I am not complaining though, because I love the light color of the wood. We did buy these chairs. If you are interested in these chairs, we did do a video on how to put it together because there's a trick to it. So I'll be sure to link that video. But these chairs are awesome. They can easily stack. So in the wintertime, it will be easy for us to store this away. They are of this, I want to say it's like a plastic composite material that it's made out of. I think it's a very good quality chair. We've been using the table and chairs for the last 6 months. And that was another reason why I wanted to wait to go ahead and finish up this video, because I wanted to see how well everything was going to hold up. As you can see, this table is about 8.5 foot long and approximately 34 inches, just shy of 34 inches wide. So the height of the table from the ground to the top is approximately 30.5 inches tall. The bench length, you're looking at 80 inches. The height is approximately 18.25 inches tall. We do have 6 chairs, and the bench can seat very comfortably 4 people, but we can easily sit 5. If you have kids, you could seat more. So as I mentioned before, this table can seat 10 to 12 people or more. We absolutely love it. And I've already had one of those core memories take place this year, and I'll share a clip of that core memory.
Hold it up. Yes!
I know this table is going to bring so much joy in terms of the memories that will be made around the table. I hope we inspired you to go out and build something of your own. If you like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to continue following us on our mini homestead journey, where we are transforming our property into a Tuscany-inspired mini homestead, be sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. Until next time.